Hi guys, Bear here on another review, another aircraft kit. This time we're looking at a Kinetic kit of Harrier GR1, GR3 and 1/48 scale. And of course the extras. Let's open up the box and see what's inside. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, actually I'm going to show you the box. This is the only sort of colour profiles you have there on the side of the box. There's none within it. Now let's open it up. Now let's see what's inside. There is loads of extras again, as usual, as I like to do. So, instructions, extra stuff that doesn't really fall into that. Transparencies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stickers and PE. Okay, we'll start with the instructions. You sort of get this like photocopy type thing from Kinetic. That's just the way they do it. There's a load of history stuff on here. Kind of interesting read. They have researched obviously the aircraft themselves. That's a really good point about this kit. Also, if you're in the, if you want the early Harrier, well, it's not the only game in town. If you want to, fight your way through an Airfix kit, circa 1980s, go ahead, be my guest. But this is the latest release of a early Harrier GR1, GR3. They brought out also the early US Harrier, and I think there's a special edition by Ammo of MiG for the Spanish Harrier as well. So got the layout as usual of the trees. We've got the colour profiles and the name of the colours. And it says here, go to Kinetic model for the download of the painting guide, so you can actually get a colour profile. Wrong, it doesn't exist, don't go there, there's nothing there. This is all you've got, yeah? Black and white photos or the pictures that I showed you on the side of the box. So we've got Ammo MiG, Vallejo, Mr. Colour, and not every single colour's filled in. Tamiya and Umbro enamel, if you're like in the old school stuff. Yeah, normal stuff. Build up a cockpit, and also build up I think that's the rear landing gear bay. Callouts are to paint the consoles, so better check the decals, see if there's any decals or otherwise. By step 5, we glue it all together, and here's your first bit of weirdness. Well, actually, so step 4. You're meant to build up an articulating link that basically, so you can play with it and swivel the nozzles. Straight away, it's like a bad idea, this sort of nonsense. Anything like that, articulate, it's going to snap, it's going to break. Why bother? So we'll look on how not to do that, which is probably just gluing them in, because they're not toys, they're static models. By this is critical, this area here. This is probably, hopefully this is nicely detailed. See the really big fan of the compressor there behind the cockpit. There's numerous callouts as well in the instructions for whichever marking option, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, they're telling you as well, this is a critical thing on Harriers as well, the way that these are just gravity operated auxiliary inlets around the main air intake for the engine. So these ones here, these ones on the top, they sort of naturally just sort of fall in. They aren't like spring loaded or anything. They just fall in. But when air's running through the engine, it's moving forward, then they sort of close. So just bear that in mind. Here's the wing assembly point as well. Got a choice of tails depending on which version you have, with a radar warning, receiver or otherwise. This is your usual join here. At least we have, not like the later Harrier. We've got that leading edge extension area. It's pretty good. Hopefully that fits okay. I expect we need to do a bit of work, get this thing together. Landing gear goes together, it looks okay, I suppose. We'll check it out. Here's another big difference. We've got the thimble nose, or we've got the pointed nose. This one is the one with the laser rangefinder for bombing. and also at the tail as well. You've got different tails depending on the versions with the rear warning radar receivers or otherwise. Adding on details by this stage. It's got lots of call outs, so pay attention to whichever version. So it tells you which UHF versions to do, which aerials to use, etc., etc. Even tells you about the refueling probe, scheme 6 only, so good call outs. You know, quite a lot of detail telling you about stuff. Now, they did make a boo-boo. You've got armament included in here. There's a lot of armament. And it actually tells you here with the Matra rocket pods, which are the RAF rockets, unguided rockets. They've molded them with all the rocket heads as if they're popping out, which of course is not how they look like. They're recessed within the pod itself. It tells you to cut them all down and remove them and sand them off, which I just can't imagine it looking that great. And again, they made the same mistake on the 2-inch rocket pods, which are used by the Royal Navy and used by the RAF Harriers in the Falklands. So, here again, like quite a lot of nice information, important information on, you know, which aircraft you're going to use, on which weapons are fitted on them. So it's, you know, it's pretty good. So let's have a look at the versions themselves. You know, and these are obviously research, and I like this. This really is something that I like to see. Well researched markings. So we've got a very early one with the, you know, lighter underside and the early roundels. This one's 1970. Roundel's a bit different. Another point, you know, 75. We've got the shark mouth one. That one has to be popular. Then we've got the thimble-nosed ones. And we've got this one, 77, RAF Wittering. And this will be the one of choice, Operation Corporate. So this is the Falklands War or the War for the Malvinas, depending on your standpoint. So this is the version that obviously I wanted to pick. So I wanted to pick an operational aircraft. You know, I've again been reading up on the history of the aircraft, finding out all the details. And I think this is going to be such a cool and interesting scheme as well. So that would basically conclude it. Sorry, the last marking here is one that's actually at the RAF Hendon Museum. So I've seen this one in reality. Points to note as well. I'm going to flash up the website here. Thank God somebody's done this. They've done all the research. Check out this website. It's on hyperscale. And here's all the pointers on this kit, including the mistakes that we need to correct when it comes to this pylon placement. They made a bit of an error there. So all the information's there. Bear that in mind. Really, really helpful. Thank you guys at Hyperscale for putting this together. Okay, let's have a look at the parts. Okay, first one, we've got ×2 off. Same sprue, so we need to look at one, and it's the weapons. Some of these are not going to be applicable for this Harrier. One of them looks like an AMRAAM for some reason. But of course it's like a generic type sprue. But the main thing is we've got the correct drop tanks. I think these Harriers only carry the smaller one. Again, check that reference that I gave you. Sidewinders as well. I'm just going to show you the clear parts. I'm not going to... Can I take these out of the bag? Yes, I should. Hold on. Clear parts look really, really good. Notice the canopy deck cord is molded in there. And also got the front wiper as well. We've got all the ancillary little lights and stuff. Crystal clear, ultra thin, the way that clear parts should be. Excellent. Fuselage sprue. Let's zoom in and show you the detail. But first of all, point out, as we mentioned before, with the intake auxiliary doors as well, got two ways of showing them depending on which type you use. So that's all been done for you. It's just a plug-in insert, which is pretty good. Note the outrigger wheels molded in one part. It's probably the only, you know, sensible way to do it. Nothing detrimental there. The right, okay. So the thimble nose for the laser rangefinder is more than 2 halves. So there's no, you know, clever stuff here. It's one. So we need to deal with the seam. Of note as well, the actual with the head for where the seeker sees through. No clear part there, but it is extremely dark glass. But I think that could have been done better, but that's just me. And hopefully when these parts come together, the seam isn't too difficult or anything. Pity we don't see that in, you know, a one-piece moulding, the nose, but that's the way it is. The fuselage, let's zoom in and have a look. There we go. Nice, nice. Fine detail again. And you got the rivets. It looks like traditional, like how a model should look like. I like the detail. And there's no flash on it. Everything looks good. These look good as well. These are obviously heat deflection plates for the rear nozzles. And just show you these outriggers as well, just show you how well those are detailed. And I'll just show you that nose again. Looks good. But just point out something, didn't realise, in the sprue map, I didn't realise, but get two upper wings. Only one of them's correct though. There's a difference between them. I have a feeling one of them's for the US version, the other early Harrier. So make sure you get the right one. Okay, we're looking at the wing in detail, nice and close to show you all the detail. They've got these sort of bits right, I think. Looks very typical, these Harriers. And these are the wing vortex generators, limited to what you can do in plastic. They don't look too bad, but we've got a solution for that anyways. Looks kind of nice, nice detailing, nice and crisp. This is the sprue that's got the cockpit on. And actually, no, yeah, there's some nice relief detail on there. Not too bad. Not great, you know, but it's okay. And again, we've got like another multitude of parts again. I think you have to be really careful with this one to make sure you use the right parts for it, because there seems to be multiples of different parts. Here's the ejector seat. Looks pretty good out the box. Looks pretty good to me. Definitely usable. Okay, we've got different tails with the rear warning receiver, or the antennas, you know, different types. And here's another ejection seat inside here. So they made so many, and also got two consoles as well. So we're going to have to be really careful when it comes to construction. And we've got another cockpit tub. So we've got absolutely bags of extra parts inside these kits. I didn't realise there was that many. It reminds me of like when Dragon did their armour kits. You get so many extra bits for the different versions. But fair play to them. You've got them inside the bag, you know. Okay, we're looking at sprue I. This is apparently the wing that you're meant to use. I couldn't really see the difference. I need to look really closely, but I haven't got time in this review. Some expert out there will know the difference between them. And here's these rocket pods. They look really good the way they did them, but totally wrong, unfortunately. And also we've got the normal dumb bombs as well, so that's kind of good. We've got at least one of them inside there, so that looks kind of nice. That looks really good, that detail on there. That's really nice and thin. Now this is the reason I suppose I call it a gold kit. It's got some gold PE inside it. You've got a few parts, bit of details. Or helps, I suppose. Harness strap. These are part of the tail plates on the moving tailplane. Some of the bits. At least you've got some PE. It looks kind of good. These sprues to look at as well. They are not identical. You've got a nose for a Harrier there. Part of the canopy. And these are the only bits of slide moulding. You can tell slide moulding because you've got a bridge around the sprue gate. And these are for the engine exhaust nozzles, cold and hot. They look really good. They look really good. And of course, you haven't got the problem. Like the Hasegawa ones are obviously two parts. And trying to clean that inside there was difficult, challenging, etc. Pylons look good. The Aiden cannon looks good. The wheels look excellent, actually. The hub detail looks absolutely excellent. Looks really good, really nice. Okay, this sprue here, we've got more outriggers. We've already seen in one set already. So, like I said, probably several times now, be careful which parts you use. Here's the front landing gear fork. Looks okay to me. More detail on that part, might be part of a gear bay. Lots of antennas and stuff. And here's that optional air-tail refueling probe for one version that's offered within the box. And here's a sticker sheet, printed in Italy by Cartograph. You know these are the very best. You know you can use them, and hopefully they've been, you know, I think they've been probably well researched. The colours on these look absolutely outstanding. You know, looks really bright and just perfect, really. You know when you've got quality decals, and they do make such a massive difference on our models. So that's, I think, a really big plus is when you've got, you know, you've got quality decals provided by Cartograph in a kit. Makes me kind of happy because you know can use them straight away. Okay, let's talk about the extras quickly. Okay, we've got some masks. We've got the old, PE set. We haven't got any fancy stuff from Quintus Studio, so we're limited to, you know, flat PE to enhance the details of the cockpit. We'll see how they compare with, you know, what's provided. But at least I've got like a nice piece of clear acetate there for the HUD. Should make a nice little addition to the kit. It wasn't very expensive also, that was the main thing. So I've got a pitot tube and an angle of attack indicator from Master. I just sort of threw it into the basket when I was buying stuff. Not a big addition, probably not necessary. First time I'm trying out Res Kit, and I've got some Aftermarket wheels. They look really good, nice detail printed on sidewall detail. These ones for the outriggers, I think they're going to be absolutely impossible because the amount of modifications we'd have to make to the outriggers. They should be a worthy sort of addition to the model. Finally, we've got the Navy 2-inch launcher for a Falklands version. We've got some nice packing foam here for doing our chipping weathering. We've got a bonus there, so let's have a look at these pods. And as you can see, these are correct. You haven't got missiles proud of the actual pod itself. Look really good castings. No bubbles or, you know, mismouldings or anything like that. You've got the rear part that you need to glue on, so you have to get them all lined up. Get 4 off inside here. Some extra details and also some PE details. So I think it's a really worthwhile addition. It looks quite a nice little set. Should really go well with this Falklands Harrier when we get around to building it. So that's in the review, guys. This is the bear, and I'll see you on the next one. I am out of here.